The Cameroonian election results have finally been proclaimed. President Paul Biya won Issa Chiroma Bakari, and here's the result on your screen. President Paul Biya, 53%. Issa Chiroma Bakari, 35%. We will go ahead and see what is happening in Douala, and then we will listen to the proclamation of this result. Fair? Let's take a listen. This is the guy I told you we had to be looking out for. Clement Atangana, the head of the Constitutional Council. Let us listen together how he majestically proclaimed President Paul Biya the winner of this election and the way forward for La République du Cameroon citizens and every inhabitant in this geographical location. Let's take a listen.
Est ainsi proclamé élu président de la République comme ayant obtenu la majorité des suffrages exprimés. Le candidat Biya Paul.
The verdict of the Cameroonian election results came as a time bomb on every Cameroonian. Now, let's watch briefly how President Paul Biya, through an AI-generated video, celebrates his victory, and then we will go on to lay a path forward. This is a wind of change blowing across Cameroon. And if the people in this geographical location don't take precaution, we might make mistakes because we are too emotional. Protest from a dissatisfied crowd escalated in Douala and other regions of La République du Cameroon following the proclamation of this result. Now, this is what I want you to pay attention to, because a wind of change is blowing across Cameroon. The democracy practiced in Cameroon is different from the democracy practiced in the United States. In Cameroon, majority wins the vote. The Constitutional Council proclaims the winner. America is a constitutional republic and not a pure democracy. That means majority can win the vote, but the Electoral College gets to choose who becomes president in the United States of America. The founding fathers of the United States of America understood this dynamics when it comes to politics. This is time for Cameroonians to rise up collectively and demand change. But the question is, what kind of change are we looking for? If we roll back the curtains to the 1960s, when we got our independence, there was a wind of change blowing across the world. It was not about installing a new president. It was about a change of the status quo. Young people rebelled against the old. They were against wars. They were against racism. They wanted equality and they rejected rigid traditions. They wanted freedom. They wanted equality. And the older generation didn't get it. I'm sure they don't tell you this, because you will rebel against the older generation for all these malpractices. This is time for Cameroonians to rise up and face the truth about the foundation of this country. That is the real battle we ought to be fighting. The older generation held firm to the status quo. They didn't even want the colonial masters to leave. They wanted gradual change. But the younger generation, being inspired by what was going on around the world, rose up and demanded change in Africa. And that is how we got our independence. Amadou Ahidjo was 35 at the time. They will not tell you this. Jongu Foncha was 45. Augustine Ngomjua was 37 upon our independence. Now you understand why Foncha could not pull us out of a bad deal. But Ahidjo could negotiate a better deal for the citizens of La République du Cameroon, both the old and the young. Augustine Ngomjua cautioned Foncha about this transaction, but he did not listen. In the Anglophone zone, our biggest enemies has been those above the age of 40. From Jongu Foncha, Esti Muna, Ninjon Fundi, compromising with this regime at the expense of the future of our people is why we are where we are today. This is time for young people in La République du Cameroon to rise up, question the foundation of this country, because this is where all the problems we are going through comes from. And it will continue for the next 50 to 100 years if not addressed. The younger generation always see further than the older generation. And that is what happened in the 1960s. Youths around the world rebelled against old regime. And this is time for that spark again, because they will not understand given their age. This is what the older generation have done to us, citizens of La République du Cameroon, Ambazonians, and citizens of the United Kingdoms of Tikar. They've created a rigid, archaic political system in Cameroon that defrauds you of your election and maintain Pobia in power. Now you're forced to run away from the country. They've created the Ambazonian War that has led to thousands of young people losing their lives while they remain in their comfort zones abroad. Imagine that. They use their age to suppress your creativity. They use their age to suppress your talent. And this is what the youths in the 1960s rose up and rebelled against. They refuse to take accountability. They've told you France is your problem. They've told you Britain is your problem. They've told you America is your problem, while they run over to the same countries to seek asylum. And they have created a pattern where we come over here, have to lie and tell stories about ourselves that stains our soul just to find safety in these foreign countries. The leaders of the 1960s, they came over, studied, went back with youthful energy to bring about transformation in their country. We are being suppressed by elders. You can't solve a problem with the same mindset that created that problem. And this is what the elders in our community fail to understand. This is what I want you to pay attention to if you genuinely want change. 70% of Cameroonians are below the age of 40. If there is anyone to represent us with an idea that will bring about transformation, that individual should come within this age group. If there will be any sustainable transformation, it should come from an individual within this age group, not the older generation. Their ideas haven't worked, will not work, will mislead you and lead you astray. This is historically proven. The question we all should be asking is, how did Ambazonia become the face of this struggle in the Anglophone zone? You think it started with Ambazonia? No. It started with the teachers and the lawyers marching on the streets, protesting, demanding certain rights. And then Ambazonia hijacked the movement and turned it into an armed struggle, which has led to thousands of people losing their lives with a vision that is not clear. Now we have the United Kingdoms of Tikar with clarity, perspective, a vision, and with a youthful energy that can help bless our entire community. Now, this is what citizens of La République du Cameroon should pay attention to. Maurice Kamto was kicked out of this election early. That was the first strike. Now, Issa Chiruma Bakari has won the election, we can all see, and he has been defrauded of the election because of the poor democratic structure that we have in Cameroon. Now, this is time for you to rise up. Use this as a spark for true change, to reform the entire system in Cameroon, beginning with the foundation of this country. You cannot hold those in the United Kingdoms of Tikar hostage and want freedom at the same time. You have to confront your leaders as to the truth of this nation. Cameroon will never work being a bilingual country. There is no one with the capacity to manage a bilingual country in Cameroon and have everyone in here be successful. There is no union treaty binding La République du Cameroon and Southern Cameroons. That is the truth we have to rise up to if we want change. These issues are not just political, they are moral, they are ethical, and they are spiritual. If we want long-lasting change, we have to address the foundation of this country. So this is time not to focus on Issa Chiruma, not to focus on Maurice Kamto. Just like we are rising up, we are not focusing on the teachers and the lawyers or Ambazonia, but the United Kingdoms of Tikar. After studying the young people in this country, how we have grown over time, both in the Northwest and the Southwest. We are not in the 1960s anymore. We are in 2025. And we understand the challenges that we face that the older generation will never understand, no matter how hard you explain to them. They won't understand at all. And what you have to do is take your destiny in your hands. They've come here, created all sorts of systems so that we can lie about ourselves, called asylum, so that we can have a status in these countries. When we have everything in Africa, we have everything in that geographical location called Cameroon. Skills, talent, energy to do something for our lives that gets to bless our mothers, our fathers. But a few among us will come here, create this rigid system to hold all of us captive. They have conditioned us to have this false sense of security because we are in America, because we are in Europe, because we are in Asia. They will criticize these countries, criticize the leaders of these countries, and then turn around and condition us on how to find safety within the same countries. You see the delusion? Why we have everything from where we come from. Think about the friends you grew up with. You will never get to see them again. Think about the community that you come from and the thousands of people that have died that you might never get to see again. They have created a society filled with hate, jealousy, and anger at a mass proportion that I can't even fathom. Despise every young individual with an idea that could bring transformation in our community. Why they sit abroad and tell you France is a problem? No, I see you in the comment section, not France. I see you in my DM and not America. I see you in my DM. I see you challenging me, not America, not France, not Britain. When they get you focused on France, America, and Britain, they get to destroy your destiny, give you this slow poison and tell you be respectful and calm while I serve you this poison. That is the Anglophone community for you. You have a visa to travel abroad, you have to hide. And they think that they know better, and let's continue in that community the way it is. Jealousy everywhere. You go to a native doctor to concoct a spell so someone can die, so someone will fail. This is the kind of society they have created. We are building a new one, free of all these evil practices, and it will never come from you above the age of 40. So join us. There are many departments in this vision that you can serve in. Bury your old colonial ideas. And again, the 1960s led us to our independence because young people globally rose up, challenged the status quo, rejected war, violence, racism, and all the bad practices that the older generation were indoctrinating the younger generation into. That is why you have independence in Africa. Never forget that. And this is the next wind of change. Rising up to say no to you, the older generation. If you prove to me that France is the problem, I want to see some love that you get to show me if France is the problem. Care. Being receptive to new ideas, and then I will understand that France is the problem. America is the problem. Britain is the problem. We say no to this manipulation. And young people around the world, this is time for you to wake up to this reality. Have you seen France before? Have you seen any individual from France before? My friends, this is the reality. Most of these people are incompetent, and they won't step down and accept new ideas. France, Britain, America, they are out looking for the best interest for their people. You should be out there looking for the best interest for your people. When you come in close contact with them and you can't negotiate properly, you will step back and blame them. They are not the problem, and we are realizing that now. You are the problem. You are incompetent, so step down. And if France, Britain, and America is the problem, how come you live in these countries? You have a voice in these countries. The only place you can express yourself is in these countries, and you claim these countries are the problem. No, we refuse this manipulation. It ends here. What proof do you have that France is the problem? What proof do you have that America is the problem? What proof do you have that Britain is the problem when we see you representing an idea that doesn't work? Now, come on now. Look at the Ambazonian case, for example. Oh, we got married and we were not treated fair in that relationship. And then we asked for the marriage certificate. They're like, oh, no, we are trying to explain. No, you call it marriage. There's nothing like marriage without a marriage certificate. It's dating or engagement. And you send thousands of young people to go die on this idea. Oh, there was a federal system of government, and that federal system of government was dissolved in 1972. Okay, prove that there was a ratified union that shows us that the federal system of government was in place. Oh, they go around. Show me they don't have it. That is the argument they present before the UN, before international community. Thousands of young people have died for this kind of idea without clarity and momentum. Now they believe in guns. They will tell you, oh, if you don't have boys on the ground, you are not the real man. This nonsense must stop. This nonsense must stop. Our young people have suffered a lot. 64 years they lived with this idea in a community. You rise up to bring about clarity, no appreciation. The few that come around here to appreciate want to still go around with Ambazonia. When I see the tension between the Northwest and the Southwest, the elites in the Southwest are clear that they are for La Republique du Cameroon. Let them join that side. What is so hard to understand? That people don't want to be with you. And those who are looking at the natural resource in the southwest from the northwest, it will take one elite from the southwest, even if you have your so-called Ambazonia, a place where our ancestors were captured and sold as slaves. Ambas Bay, that's Limbe. And I'm bringing clarity to that in 2025. And that is the place these people want to disregard everything about our ancestors to follow that agenda, even when they see the truth. And let me tell you, it will take one elite from the southwest after thousands of our people have died, because most of the people that have died are in the northwest. After we have lost thousands of young people fighting for the wrong cause, a cause that our ancestors can never bless, because you can't pick a name from a place where they were sold and you think life starts with you. It will take one elite from the southwest to negotiate an oil deal with a European company after all this is said and done, and tell you from the northwest you are come no go, so stay in your lane. And you realize that everything that you fought for with the hope that you have oil will fall right before your face. And you will wake up to that realization. And that is what our ancestors are waking me up to restore a heritage that they started in motion in the United Kingdoms of Tikar. One, to say they are the original people of this land, sign an oil deal, and that is what happened with Biafra. All the government of Nigeria had to do was sign an oil deal with the Shell Royal Company. And that kept Biafra in check since the 1970s till date. The younger people will always see further than you. And that is what you have to realize. You can support them or you stand on the side. Enough with all these stories. Oh, we were around in the 1960s. We were around in the 1990s. This is what we did to create universities. Enough of all of that jargons, because that is the strategy they use on you young people. All they have to do is have gray hair, come around and tell you that they were around in the 1990s or 1960s. So you have to listen to them. My father was born in 1928. I was his handbag. I saw everything. So I understand all of these games you're playing to subjugate our people. I know it well. Maybe you're playing the script, not knowing what you're doing. I step back to help you see you. Because I was raised by a man that lived through all of these regimes. Both the old and the young in the southwest are clear. We don't trust you, Bamenda people, because of Foncha. You are come no go. Bamenda people, Ngrafi people. You are domineering. We don't want you. You can't build anything. Talk less a nation with the people that don't trust you. And you want to stay among your groups, say, oh no, we'll fix that. When we have our independence, we'll fix that. And we have the right to self-determination. And we can go on to build a country that blesses La République du Cameroon, Nigeria, and surrounding nations. And this will bring peace, even in the next 50 or 100 years. The young people are clear. On TikTok, they are there. On Facebook, they are there. On the ground, they are there, saying the same thing. Even individuals in our community who live in the southwest have approached me the same thing. Even marriages between northwest and southwest is a glitch. Almost all the people married to those in the southwest have complained to me. The relationship didn't work out, or they are struggling in that relationship. Like a father, when I see these things, I don't keep pushing. I step back and say it is okay. Those in northern Cameroon join Nigeria and we say goodbye. There comes a time in history where you understand the pain of a people, not reinforcing a colonial agenda in the 1960s and 2025. When you see the incompatibility, you step back and say, okay, go your separate ways peacefully. We can live as friends, build a community that works. They said after this Ambazonian war is over, if at all you won, the next battle will be between the Northwest and the Southwest. And I know, and it's true. You don't want to listen to the people. You believe in your group and your think tank so much that everybody else is crazy. We say no to that. And young people, do not take any advice from anyone above the age of 40 that reinforces any rigid tradition that has held us bound. The God of the Tikar is awake. And if you fight this, God will fight you. Our ancestors will fight everything that you've built in this life. Your jobs, your marriage, your relationships. The gods of the Tikar, the blood of the young people that have been spilled, will visit you to the third generation.